To start with, we will create a simple rectangle so that you will understand how to get into the sketch and create a simple sketch like a rectangle. Let us give the rectangle dimension maybe 100 into 50. So let us go to sketch. You can see this is create sketch icon. Click on this. As soon as you click, you will be presented with these three planes. Let us click on this XY plane. Now we are inside the sketcher module of Fusion 360. Now this is a plane and you can create any type of 2D sketch on this plane. So let us create the simple rectangle. I won't be using this rectangle tool which you can see here because I want you to understand few concepts that I will teach you by using this line tool. So let us know about the line tool. You just click on this line tool, click anywhere and a point will be generated and a connecting line will be generated. Now as soon as you click somewhere else, you can see a line is getting generated. So you require 2 points for a line and we want to create a rectangle. So we require 4 lines. Let us create 4 lines. A line may be something like this and a line something like this, and I will connect it. I am not able to connect. I will click somewhere here. 4 lines I have generated. You might be thinking why I am making it something like this, because I have to create a rectangle. So I have to create a horizontal and a vertical line. But I want to make you understand about a simple concept which every 3D modeling software uses. Of course, engineering 3D modeling softwares like CATIA, Unigraphics, or so to say Siemens NX, Solidworks. The concept is called constraining. You can see a ribbon here. These are all constraints. Also, you have a constraint here, which is the dimensional constraint. So, there are 2 types of constraints. First is the geometrical constraints and second is the dimensional constraints. These are all the geometrical constraints. Geometrical constraints are something like concentricity, parallelism, perpendicularity, tangential, horizontal, vertical, and whatever relation if you want to give to 2 objects, it is a geometrical constraints. But there is a thing called the dimensional constraint, which is somewhere here. These are associated with giving the dimensions like length, width, height, diameter, distance between 2 points, distance between 2 lines, and so on. Let us use this and constrain this rectangle. Constraining is restricting the degrees of freedom of an object. If I click here and move, you can see it is moving. So it is enjoying all the degrees of freedom. We want to constrain it by restricting its degrees of freedom, and that we can do by the use of constraints. Let us check it out. First, you can see this is open. We want to coincide these 2 points. So let us select these 2 points. First point, and use the control key for multiple selection. Click on the second point. Now you can see all the constraints which can be given to these 2 points have been highlighted, like this fix, horizontal, vertical, and coincident. Click on coincident and you can see this is a closed sketch. It is represented by this shaded interior area. Earlier it was not shaded. I'll just undo so that you can see. You can see it is not shaded. And as soon as I redo, you can see it is shaded. So if you have a closed sketch, then it will have a shade inside it. Now let us give the other constraints. The first constraint that I want to give is horizontal. I'll select this line and click here. Horizontal and vertical. You can see automatically horizontal has been given. Now you can also first select the constraint and then select the object. That is also possible. Select this horizontal or vertical and click here. You can see the vertical constraint has been applied. Now, so we have seen horizontal constraint and vertical constraint. The next constraint that I want to show you is perpendicularity. Before that, you can see this icon is active. So this command is actually active. So if you want to deactivate it, press on the escape key. Click on escape. You can see it is deactivated. Now no command is active. So we will go for perpendicularity. You can see this is perpendicularity. Click on it. I want to make this line perpendicular to this line. Both of them are perpendicular. It is denoted by this symbol. This is perpendicular constraint that has been applied to these two lines. And even you can see here, this is vertical symbol and this is horizontal symbol. This vertical and horizontal are having a same command. So how it works is, it will calculate to which direction the line is actually inclined to, and it will take the reference of that axis. This one had been inclined to the x-axis, like the angle between this line and the x-axis was less. So horizontal had been applied. And for this vertical constraint, it was closer to the y-axis. So vertical had been applied. So that you have to note. Of course, in the later part when we are doing the exercises, you will be totally clear, so you need not worry. Now the next constraint that I want to show you is parallelism. Click on parallel. Select this line and this line. You can see both of these lines are parallel. So we have given the geometrical constraints. Now let us give the dimensions. Click on this dimensional constraint and click on this line. You can see the dimension is being generated here, and I will give a dimension of maybe some 50 mm. Press on the enter key. You can see the 50 mm has been given to this line. Now let us give the length of this line. I'll give the length as some 100 mm. And you can see, press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now you can see all the constraints that we understood should be given has been given. Now if I catch hold of this, just click on that and grab it by using the left mouse button and move. You can see it is moving. If you see this point, this is the origin of the coordinate system. And if you move, you can see it is moving all around this. So it is still enjoying the degrees of freedom, and we need to constrain it. For that, what we can do is, we have to give the reference with this origin. Now you can see this origin is a bit down and we want to work in this center area. So for that, we have some visual tools so that our figure will be moving in the graphics window. If you use the scroll of the mouse, just move the scroll up and down. You can see this is zoom, unzoom, and press the scroll and move. This is called pan. You can see the entire visual space is moving along with this coordinate system. Now let us zoom in and move this and keep it somewhere here. Let us give the dimension with respect to this origin so that it will be constrained. Now let us take the dimensional constraints. Click on this. This is the origin point. You can see it is selected, and select this line. As soon as I give this dimension constraint, you can see this has been converted into black. So it indicates it is fully constrained. Let us give this dimension as some 50. Now let us press the escape key and move the figure again. You can see the figure has been restricted about the y-axis by giving this 50, and when you move, it is moving only in the vertical direction, but along horizontal it is restricted. Now let us give the dimension along the vertical. So for that, I can use this dimensional constraint and again click here, and maybe I'll click this origin and I'll give this dimension as some maybe 25. And you can see all the lines are in black. That indicates all the lines are constrained and the figure is completely constrained. If you want to check it, just catch hold of any line and move. You can see it is not moving. So it indicates it is completely constrained. This concept will be super clear when you will proceed towards the end of this course, because we are going to practice so many examples which will make you conversant and of course master in this technique. In the next lecture, we are going to start with the example 1 of this course. In this lecture, we are going to create the example 1 drawing, which is this. This is a very simple drawing and we will be making it in Fusion 360. So let us start. Let us go into the Sketcher interface. Click on the Sketch tool and we will select this XY plane. Now let us click on this Line tool and let us click on this Origin. Now you can see at certain position the line is getting locked. So as soon as it gets locked, the horizontal constraint will automatically get formed. So we'll just click here. You can see it is black color because I have selected this first point as the origin. So it is taking the reference of this origin for the first point and it is automatically getting constrained. Now let us move up. Click somewhere here and maybe somewhere here. So we are basically making a rough sketch. Click here, here, and you can see I have created a rough sketch. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. And now we will select this line and make it vertical. Now let us give the dimensions. I'll select on this sketch dimensions. Select here and we will give this dimension as 50. Now we'll take this line and this dimension will give as 100. Next I'll select this line and give this dimension as 20. Now all these lines are having the same length. So there is a constraint called equal. Click on this equal constraint. Select this line and we want to make this line equal to this. Again you can select this line and this line. So both of these will be equal. This line and this line, both of these will be equal. You need not constrain this, but still if you want to constrain and select this and this, you can see the sketch geometry is over constrained. This happens if you give more than the constraint that is required. Like you can see here, this total length is 100. So if you make this and this equal and if you give a distance of 20, then this sums up to be 20, 40, 60 and 80. So automatically the software calculates the length for this line. That is 100 minus this 80. So this becomes automatically 20. So you need not give the length for this line. Again, we'll press on the escape key. Equality is complete. Now, this line and this line are collinear. So let us give the constraint. Let us click here and a drop down menu will come. Here, you can see here this is collinearity. Click on collinear. Select this line and this line. Both of them are collinear. Similarly, this line and this line are also collinear. Now we are left out with only this line. Let us give the value. We'll take dimensional constraint from this line to this inner line. This dimension is 12.5 as given by the drawing. You can see here this drawing. Here it is 12.5 and this length is 25. So let us give this length. Now, how to find out which length is left out? Just hold any line and move. You can see there is a set of things that are moving, and you have to decide which distance you should give so that that degree of freedom will be restricted. That you have to decide, and at present you won't be able to decide, but in this due course, maybe after 10-15 examples, you will automatically get an awareness which constraint is left out and what to give so that it will be completely constrained. But in the later part, maybe after 10 lectures, you will be completely knowledgeable and you will generate the skill to identify which dimension or constraint is left out. So just follow along with the videos, and after 10 videos or so, you will be completely confident. Click and move, and you can see. Now we are left out with only this dimension, which is 25. Let us give that and make this figure completely constrained. Click on dimensional constraint, select this line and click here, and we'll give 25. Press on the enter key, and you can see the figure is completely constrained, indicated by this black geometry. In the next lecture, we will be making the example 2 drawing. In this video, we are going to generate a completely constrained geometry of example 2. You can see here, this is the example 2 drawing that we are going to make. Let us start. Let us first select a plane. Click on this create sketch, and we will select this XY plane so that we will get into the sketcher module of Fusion 360 and work on this plane. If you see this drawing, this is a bit more complex than the last drawing, but it is quite simple. We are going to proceed by first creating a rough sketch of this boundary, and then we are going to connect this, and then we are going to see this rectangle. Let us start. We will take the line tool and we will create a rough sketch. We'll click here and we'll draw a horizontal line, a vertical line. Click somewhere here, and as you move, you can see our line is getting locked somewhere, which is saying that it can create a coincide constraint between this line and this point. When you click, the coincide constraint is getting created, indicated by this. Now we'll create a horizontal line, something like this. Click here and I'll click here, click here. As you move, I want to track this point and create a line something like this. Track this point. You can track, just hover over this point and drag. You can see it is tracking now and locking at this point. Click and join. Press on the escape key to exit from the line tool. And you can see a completely closed sketch we have generated. Now, if you move this, of course it won't be constrained. And the coincide constraint has also not been created. So, we will do that. First, let us give the dimensions, or you can also go for the geometrical constraint. It's your wish. But if you give the geometric constraint first, it will save you from the dimensions. Let us see how it is saving. First, let us give the coincide constraint. Click here and you will get this drop down, and here we'll go for collinear between this line and this line. Again, collinearity between this line and this line and this line, again this line and this line. So I have made all this collinear. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and when you move, now you can see the coincide constraint has been given. Now let us give the dimensions. click on this dimension constraint and let us give the dimension from here to here. This dimension is 25. Press on the enter key. Again, this dimension is also 25. So what I will do, press on the escape key, give equal constraint. Click on equal. This line and this line, both of them are equal. As we have given the dimension of this line, so this line has been automatically given the dimension 25. Now similar is the case for this line and this line, both are equal. And as this line is coincident with this line, so these two lines have equal length. Now let us give the dimension of these two lines. From here to here, this dimension has been given as 15. You can see automatically this length has been given because both of these lines are having the same length. Now let us give this total dimension from here to here. Press on the escape key. If you want to delete a dimension, just select on it and delete. Let us select dimensional constraint again. This line to this line. This total length has been given as 60. You can see. And from here to here, this total length has been given as 100. Now, almost all the dimensions we have given. Only the dimension which is left out is relation with this origin point. So, what we will do? We will take dimensional constraint and let us keep it exactly at the center of the figure. From here to here, let us give some 50. From here to this point, we will give some 25. Half of it, so we will go for 30. And you can see, the figure is completely constrained. Now let us move towards the other parts of the drawing. The first part is from here to here there is a connection, and from here to here there is connection. And the second part is this rectangle. Let us first constrain these two. We will take a line and we'll select this endpoint. We'll drag, trace this point and click and again click on this endpoint. As soon as you click, you can see these two are black. That indicates both of these are constrained. How it is getting constrained? That we have to see. When I have drawn, you could see that I am taking this endpoint and moving in a horizontal way. So, this endpoint is already constrained, which is attached to this figure. So I am taking its reference and moving horizontal. And here, when I track this point and create that line, this line's length is getting fixed, which is equal to this line. So this entire thing is getting constrained. You will know about this after a few videos. But for now, when I click on line tool, select this endpoint and we will move towards right side. Suppose I will click here and I will click here on the endpoint. You can see this is blue, but this has turned out to be black because this doesn't have the horizontal constraint. So we'll just select this and select this horizontal constraint. And you can see that is completely constrained. Now we are left out with only this center rectangle. Here, this center rectangle has a dimension of 30 into 20, and from this top it has a reference of 20, and from this left line it has a reference of 35. Let us do that. This time we will take a direct rectangle, 2-point rectangle. Click on this and we will create a rectangle directly. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we will go for the dimensions. Click on this dimensional constraint, sketch dimensions. This dimension will give some 30 and this dimension will give 20. Now from this line to this line, we have been given a dimension of 20 mm. You can see this is constrained, only this is left out. Now from here to this end line we will give a dimension of 35 as given in the drawing. And you can see we have achieved a completely constrained geometry of example 2. In the next drawing we will go for example 3. In this lecture we are going to generate a completely constrained geometry of example 3, which is this. This is the drawing that we are going to make now. So let us start. As usual, we will select a plane by clicking on this create sketch, and we will select this XY plane. Now we will start by making a rough sketch and then we will go for the constraining. Let us click on this line tool, and if you see the drawing, we will create this boundary first. This stepped portion we will create first and later on we will join this. So let us create the rough drawing of the stepped portion. I'll click here to create the first point. Then I'll create a horizontal line, a vertical line, and a sketch something like this. You can see, just connect here. Press the escape key to exit from the command. Now let us give the dimensions or the geometrical constraints. If you see the drawing, here you can see this is equal to this is equal to this, and the total is 60. So first let us give the equal constraint, and similarly at the same time we can also give this is 25, 25, 25. So all these three are equal. So we can give the equality. Here I'll click on equal constraint. This line is equal to this line and this line is equal to this line. Here we have made a mistake. You can see here there are 3 steps here, first, second and third, but in our case there are only 2 steps. So we need to delete this line, and I will move this line maybe something like this, and I'll take line tool, click here, make another step. That's it. Click here, press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now let us go for equality between this line and this line. Similarly, between these 2 lines there is equality, and between these 2 lines there is equality. You can see here. Now let us give the dimensions. I'll take dimensioning. I'll take this line, and this dimension is 25 as given in the drawing. So you can see automatically all these 3 lines have been given the same dimension because of the equal constraint. Now I'll give this total dimension. This dimension is given as 100. Now let us go for the other dimensions. I will take dimensioning. This line's dimension is given as 15. Automatically all 3 dimensions have been given the same dimension, which is 15. Now let us select this line and we'll give a value of 60. You can see. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and as you can see this is not constrained. It is enjoying all the degrees of freedom. So what I can do is I'll take this point, which is the intersection point of this line and this line, press on the control key for multiple selections and select this origin point. Now we will take coincident. Click on coincidence. You can see everything is getting constrained because the point to point coincident is actually giving the reference of the origin to all the geometries. Now we are only left out with two lines. Click on the line tool and we'll just connect this point and we will track this point up to here. Click and now join this point. Press on the escape key to exit from the command and you can see we have generated the fully constrained geometry of example 3, which is this. In the next lecture, we are going for example 4. In this video, we will be generating a fully constrained geometry of example 4. This is the drawing that we are going to make. Let us start. We will select create sketch and we will select this XY plane. Now we will make a rough sketch. Click on this line tool and we will create a rough sketch starting from here. We will make a rough sketch something like this. So we will start from this point and we will move and we will complete the sketch. So we will click somewhere here, horizontal, a vertical line, again a horizontal line, again vertical, horizontal, and you can create a rough sketch. You can see now there will be an angular line and horizontal, another angular line, something like this. Move up and I can track this point and connect it. You can see we are having a closed sketch. Now let us go for constraining. The very first constraint that I want to give is relation with this origin, so that our figure will be constrained as soon as we give the constraint to the geometry. So first constraint that I am going to give is relation between this line. Use the control key for multiple selection and select this origin. Now the first constraint that we are going to give is coincident. Click on this coincident and the point is getting coincided with this line. Now let us give the dimension of this line. The dimension of this line is 20. You can see. Now let us zoom in a bit. Press on the escape key and move this so that it will be somewhere here. And we'll take dimensioning again. Click on this line and the origin and let us give a value to this, which is half of this total length, so that these two lines will be symmetrical about this point. Now the relation with the origin has been given to one of the entities. Now as soon as we give the relation with this entity to the other chain of entities, the complete figure is going to be constrained. Let us start by first giving these two lines a coincide constraint. Click here and you can go to collinear and you can see both of them have been given a collinearity. Now the collinear constraint is active. So I'll select this and this. You can see the collinear has been given. Even these two are collinear. Now press on the escape key to exit from the command. Let us give the other dimensions starting from this base. I'll click here. This is 20. Again, I'll take equal and click this line and this line. You can see both of them have been given an equal constraint. Now the figure has changed. So we'll just move this rough sketch so that it resembles our required sketch. You can see. Okay, it is. Okay, this is enough. There is no problem. Now let us give the other dimensions. We will start with this internal dimensions. Here, if you grab hold and move, you can see the entire thing is moving. So what happens is, the relation with this lower portion is given with the origin, but for this upper portion the relation has not been given yet because these dimensions have not been given. So either you can give these dimensions, or what we will do is, I'll take dimensioning and I'll give a dimension to this, which is 10 mm. Now press on the escape key and move this so that it will come towards the middle, and I'll take dimensioning from this point to this point. You can see along this direction the dimension is 5 mm. So now this is symmetrical. Now let us proceed for giving the other dimensions. There won't be any issues. Press on the dimension button and we will give a dimension to this line, which is 10, dimension to this line, which is also 10. We'll give a dimension to this line, 10, to this line. Let us zoom in a bit. This is also 10, from here to here. This is 20, from this line to this point. This is of value 5. Again, this line to this point, this is also of value 5, but you can see here, adding this dimension will over constrain the sketch. So you can cancel this. So this indicates this 5 mm is not required because automatically the dimension is getting calculated. Now this dimension is 10 mm. Even this dimension is also 10 mm. So we'll give this dimension 10 from this point to this horizontal line. This is also 10 mm. You can see we are getting a shape. Press on the escape key. Now let us give this 25 dimension, which is from here to here. So from this top to this line, this is 25. And you can see our geometry is completely constrained. In the next lecture, we will go for the next example. In this lecture, we are going to introduce ourselves with the circles. We are going to create a completely constrained geometry of example 5 as shown here. It's a very simple drawing, but it requires the creation of circles. So let us see how the circles are made. First, let us go to create sketch and we will select this XY plane. Here this is circle. Click on this. Click anywhere to create the center point and drag and click somewhere. You can see a circle has been generated. There are various methods for generating the circle, but this is the center and diameter method which is mostly used. Click on the escape key to exit from the command and let us delete this. Select it and press the delete key on the keyboard. Now let us create the drawing. First, let us create a rectangle. Click on rectangle and we'll create a rectangle something like this. Press on the escape key. Let us give the dimension. This dimension in the drawing has been given as 30 and this dimension has been given as 80. The rectangle has been generated. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now click on this line and move and keep it somewhere here. Let us zoom in a bit. You can see the rectangle has been given all the dimensions, but it is not constrained because it has not been given the reference with the origin. So let us give the dimensions and make it constrained. So let us give the constraints and restrict the degrees of freedom. Click on this dimensioning, select this point and this line and let us give the half of 80. So we'll go for 40. Again the point and this line, and as you can see this is 30, so we will give 15 so that the rectangle remains symmetric on all the sides. That is, the origin will remain at the center of the rectangle. Press on the escape key. You can see all the dimensions have been given and all the constraints have also been given. That's why the figure is having a black layout. That indicates it's completely constrained. Now let us insert our circles inside this. Click on circle. By default it will be center diameter circle. Let us click somewhere here and I'll click here to create a circle. Press on the escape key. Now to constrain this we require the position of the center point and the diameter of the circle. It may be diameter, it may be radius. So let us give the radius or diameter first. Click here. We'll give a diameter as given in the drawing as 20. Now let us go for the geometrical constraints. Here I'll go for coincide this point, which is the center point of the circle, with this point, which is the origin. And you can see the circle is completely constrained. Now let us go for the other two circles. First let us create a single circle, maybe somewhere here. Press on the escape key. As usual I will take dimensions and let us give a dimension to this. This is a smaller circle of 10 mm diameter. Now to position this circle somewhere here, we require a line here so that on that line we can coincide this center point. To create that, you just have to click on line and you can see we have created a line here. But this line is not part of the active sketch. It is a construction element. We require it only to position this circle. So we'll select this line, right click, and here we'll go for normal or center line. Click on this. You can see as soon as we select that, the line has been changed to center line. So we can use that as a reference element. Now let us go for the coincident constraint, which is this. Click on it. We'll take this point and this line. You can see that point has been coincided with this line, but it is very far. Press on the escape key, because you can see this distance has not been specified. So in the drawing, here you can see that distance has been given as 65 from this edge. So we'll take dimension from this line to this point. This dimension is 65. Again we'll take circle. We'll click somewhere to create the first point, and you can see a circle has been created. We will take equal. We'll take this circle and this circle. You can see the diameter has been made equal for both these circles by the use of this constraint. So you can use that. Now we'll take coincident constraint and select this point, this same line, which is the construction line. Press on the escape key. Now let us give the dimension from this edge to this point. This dimension value is, you can see here, it is 15. So this value we will give as 15. And you can see we have completed a completely constrained sketch. In this lecture, we will be generating example 6. This is example 6 drawing. Let us start. Let us first create a sketch. Click on create sketch and select a plane. Let us select this XY plane. We will create this figure in two methods. First, by using the circles and using a option called trim. Let us start by first creating circle. I'll click here and create a circle somewhere here. Now I'll give a dimension to this. Select this and we'll give a diameter of 40, because it is asking for a radius of 20. Now to position this, there is a slight problem, because we require a line so that on that line the point will be coincided. So we will take line tool, click on this origin and we'll create a horizontal line. Press on the escape key. Click on this line, right click, and we will go for center line. Click on center line. You can see the line has been converted into center line, which is a construction element. Now I'll take the coincident constraint, select this center point and click on this line. You can see the center point has been positioned on the line, but if you move this circle, you can see it is having the degree of freedom. So the dimension here that has been given is 40. So from center it will be 20. Let us give that the dimension. Let us select the sketch dimension. Select this point and this point. So this dimension has been given as 40 divided by 2. You can also go for calculations. By calculation, what I mean is, here directly you can give 40 divided by 2. Automatically it will calculate and give 20. So if you have some dimension which is something like 20.235, so you can directly give 20.235 divided by 2. Automatically it will calculate the radius, or so to say distance. Press on the escape key. You can see the circle has been constrained. You can also select this line, right click, and you can also make it construction element. We have made it center line, but you can also make it a construction element. Now we have to create the same circle on the other side. So for that I can use this mirror option. But for using mirror, I require a line which will act as a mirroring line. So I'll take line, click here and create a line something like this. Select this line, right click and use construction. You can see it is a construction element. Now I'll select this circle and this line and go to mirror. You can see here, select on mirror and it is asking for selecting objects and a mirroring line. Here I'll go for selecting object, which is this, and here I'll go for selecting line, mirroring line. Something has been selected, so it has taken automatically. So I'll select here, or so to say I will delete this by clicking on this cross. You can see it has been deleted. Now we'll select this line. You can see it is showing something. When you click on OK, a mirroring image of a circle has been generated. If you have any doubts for mirror, you can click here and let us create a rough sketch. Maybe something like this. Press on the escape key. Now let us go for mirror. Select the object. So these are the object. Now here I will click here so that the default line will be deleted. Now I'll select our line, which is this. You can see. Click on OK. This is an exact mirror of this object. So this is how mirror behaves. I hope you understand. Now we will delete this and also this, and let us progress. And now let us proceed. Click on line tool and I'll select on this circle and I'll select somewhere here. You can see the tangency has been automatically applied, but here it is not tangent. So let me take tangency between this line and this circle. You can see both of them are tangent and this line has been completely constrained. Similarly, this line is required on the other side. I can create that line, or I can go to mirror, select this line as our object, and by default this line is our mirroring line. So we want that line, so we need not deselect it. Click on OK directly. You can see. Now we require a tool called trim. Here you can see this scissor symbol. This is trim tool. Click on trim. What trim does is, it will cut a portion of the object when you select it. But that portion should have been intersected by some other object. Like here you can see, this line and this line have intersected this circle at these 2 points. So when I select this and this, you can see the object has been trimmed. Similarly, I'll select this and this, the objects have been trimmed. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. We have got the outline. Now we will make the inner objects. The inner object is just a replica of this outer boundary. If you see here, you can see this is just a replica of this outer boundary, but it is at a distance of 10 mm. This is 20 and this is 10. So there is a value of 10 mm gap between these two. So we can create that very easily by using this offset tool. Click offset, select the geometry, which is this, and you can see this is the offset value which you can give. Our offset is in the inside side. Our offset we have to give on the inside. So here I'll go for -10, -10, and press on the enter key. You can see directly we have generated the inner portion by taking the outer portion as the reference and using the offset tool, which is this. So in this video we have seen lot of things. First we have seen the mirror tool, which is this, and then we have gone for the trim tool, and we have seen the offset tool. So in the next lecture we will be going for the next example, which is example 7. In this video, we are going to generate example 7. You can see in this drawing, we cannot go for creating the rough sketch of this entire boundary directly. So we will use a different approach to do it. First, we will create these circles and then we will go for these lines. Let us start and see how to make it. Click on Create Sketch, select a plane, select the XY plane and let us create 4 circles. First circle, second, third and fourth. There are 4 circles here. If you see this drawing, this is of radius 10, this is radius 10 and this is of 15 and 15. So let us give the dimensions first. I'll take dimension constraint and we'll give a dimension to this, which is radius 10. So 10 into 2, 20, and we can go for equality between these 2 circles. So both will be having the same radius. Even I can select these 2 circles so that both of these will have the same radius. Now I'll give the dimension to this circle, which is of radius 15. So 15 into 2 you can directly give here so that the value will be calculated and given to the circle. You can see now the position of the circle is important that we have to give. First, let us give the dimension from this circle center to this origin point. Let us give this dimension as 30 so that it will be symmetric. Now again, from this center to this circle, this is also 30. From here to this center, this is 30. This circle center to the origin, this is also 30. Now from this center to this center, it is 40. So from this center to this center, or so to say the origin, will give 20. From this center to this origin will give 20. So that both of these are symmetric. Again we will take this center to this center and give a value 20. This center to this origin will give 20. You can see all the 4 circles have been completely constrained. Now I'll take line and click somewhere here to here. You can see a line has been made. Now we'll take this line and use the control key to select the center point of this for multiple selection, and we will take coincident. You can see this point has been coincided with this line. Now we'll take trim, select this portion of the line and this portion of the line. Now in the same method, I'll create all the other lines. So let me create a line here and let me create a line somewhere here, and again another line I'll create from here to here. Now I'll take coincide constraint, this point on this line and this point maybe on this line, again this point on this line, and you can see the figure is completely constrained. Now I'll go for trimming, trim this line, this line, this line, this and this. So all the extra portion of the line have been trimmed. Now we will trim the extra portion of the circles to create the arcs. We'll select this portion and here we'll select this portion. Here I'll select this portion and I'll select this portion. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and you can see we have generated a completely constrained geometry of example 7. In this video, we will make the example 8 drawing. This is example 8 drawing. Let us start. Let us select create sketch and we'll select XY plane. Now let us create a circle. Directly I will select this origin as the center point and create the circle. We just have to give the dimension of this. This is radius 15, so we can give 30. You can see the circle is fully constrained because the starting center point of the circle I have directly created, because at starting the center point of the circle I have created directly at the origin point. Now I will create the other circles. I will create a circle here, and to constrain this I have to create a line. Maybe from this point to directly this point I will create, and this line I will make it horizontal. Again press on the escape key to exit from the command. Select the line, right click, and we will convert this into construction element. You can see. Let us give the dimension of this circle, which is radius 10, as 20 diameter, and the dimension from here to here is 37.5, which is 75 divided by 2, and you can see the circle is completely constrained. Now I'll take line from this point to this point. I'll take dimension from this line to this center line. This value is 5 mm. Now we'll just take trim and trim these two portions. Now we'll take another line, and in the similar way we will select 2 points and create a line something like this, and we'll give a dimension from here to here. This is of value 10, and we'll take trim and trim this line and this line at the point of intersection. Now I'll take trim again and we'll select these two curves and these two. You can see this is one side portion of our requirement. Now we will take fillet, select this edge and this edge. You can see a tangential arc has been generated between the two curves. This is called as a fillet, and the fillet value, you can see here, this is the fillet radius that has been given. It is R6 typical. That means wherever the geometry seems same as this, will have a value of R6. TYP indicates typical. Now this and this also will give as 6. We'll take fillet, this and this, it is 6. Again we'll take this and this, it is 6. Press on the enter key. You can see we have made the one side of the figure. Now only we have to select mirror and objects to mirror. We'll select this. So this entire portion which needs to be mirrored, we will select, and mirroring line we will select as this line, but there is no line, so we have to create a line first. Select on this line tool and create a line something like this. Select this line, right click, and we will use this as a center line for making the mirror. Now we will take mirror tool and object to mirror. This is the object, this is the object, this. You can see here mirroring line is automatically selected because we have selected this as a center line, so it will automatically take that. But if you want to remove it and create your own center line, you can do it by clicking on this icon to delete it. Click on OK. You can see it has been created. Now we will take trim again and trim this portion and this portion. Press on the escape key. You can see the boundary is made. Now we have to create the inner circles. So for that I need to just create 3 circles, something like this, and I'll give the dimension. This dimension is given in the drawing as, you can see here, it is diameter 20 and this is diameter 12 and this is also diameter 12. So this I'll give as 20 mm diameter. This I'll give as 12. This also I'll give as 12. You can also create the equal constraint between these 2 circles. Then again we will go for a new constraint. We will go for a new constraint called concentric. Select the concentric constraint and select this circle and this circle. This circle and this circle. So what it does is, it creates a concentric relation between 2 circles. You can see we have created a completely constrained geometry of example 8. In this video, we are going to create the example 9 drawing. This is the example 9 drawing and we are going to create it. Let us start by creating a sketch on this XY plane. We'll take line and create 2 reference lines. Click here and we'll take a line something like this. Press the escape key. Again, we'll take line and create a vertical line. If you see the drawing here, this circle and this circle has been positioned at 90 degrees and the PCD at which it has been located is diameter 60 or R30, radius 30. So, we'll give dimension to this line. This is 30. Again, this is also 30. So, we will take equal this line equal to this line. So, both of them are fully constrained. Now, I'll take circle. We'll take this as the center and create a circle here. Again, we'll take this as the center and create a circle here. Now, let us give the dimensions. If you see here, this radius is 15. So, we will take this and we'll give a value 15 into 2, 30. Now, we'll take equal radius between this circle and this circle. Press on the escape key. Let us select this line and this line. Use the control key for multiple selection. Right click and convert into construction element. You can see these are now not a part of the active sketch. Now we'll take mirror and we'll select this object. About mirroring line is this. Click on OK. You can see. Now again I'll take mirror, this object, and mirroring line is this line. You can see. Now let us create a circle with center diameter. Click here and directly click here. It will be fully constrained because automatically it is taking the radius as 30 due to coinciding between this point and this point. Now let us go for trimming. Click on trim. We'll select this, this, this. Trim all the unnecessary portions. You can see. Now we'll trim this, this. So we are trimming the unnecessary portions. Press on the escape key and you can see we have made the outer boundary. Now we are going to fill inside. So we are just going to create some circles. We'll select here, create a circle here and another circle here and another circle at this center. Press on the escape key, or you can also go for another circle here and here. We can create a mirror of this circle or we can directly go for a circle here. Now we'll simply take the dimension of this circle. Here the diameter is given as diameter 15. So we will give the dimension here 15 and we'll take equal this circle's radius equal to this circle. This circle's radius equal to this circle and this circle's radius equal to this circle. Now we are only left out with a single circle, which is this center circle. Click on this and let us give a dimension as given in the drawing as 36 diameter. Double click here and give a diameter of 36. Press enter and you can see we have completed a fully constrained geometry of example 9. In this video, we are going to create example 10 drawing. This is the drawing that we are going to create. We will start with this boundary and then we will position this circle. Let us start by creating a rough sketch in a sketch plane. We'll click on create sketch and we'll select this XY plane and we will create a rough sketch by starting from here. I'll move down. You can see we are just creating a rough sketch and maybe up to here. Press on the escape key. Now we have created half of the geometry. Rest half we will be using the mirror tool. So for mirror tool we require an axis. So let us create the axis now itself. I'll click here, which is the origin, and then move up to create a vertical line. Immediately I'll select this, right click and create it as a construction line, or you can also create it as a center line. Now let us constrain it. I'll select this line and this point. Use the control button. I'll go to constraints and coincident. This point coincide on this line. This point coincide on this center line. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now let us give the dimensions. Here you can see this total is 150 and this is 20, 25. So let us give those dimensions first. You can see the drawing is something like this. So here we have to create another line something like this and we will join here. Now trim this portion. Now we'll take this line and create a horizontal constraint. You can see. Now let us give the dimensions. We'll take the dimensional constraint and this dimension is given as 25. Again, this dimension is given as 20. We'll take dimension from here to this line. You can see it is taking the total distance because we have selected this as a center line. That's why it is by default taking this as the mirroring line and it is calculating the dimension from the other part of the mirroring section. That is, if we mirror this section about this line, then this line is going to come here. So when we select this line and this line for giving dimension, automatically it is taking the distance, the total distance between this line and the line which is going to be here. If you don't want that, just delete this and convert this into construction line instead of center line. Now let us see. Select this. We'll select this construction line and we'll select this. You can see. So this dimension is 150 divided by 2. It is 75. Now we'll give this dimension. This is 30. That is given in the drawing. And this dimension is 10. Now let us go for mirroring it. We'll select this line, and we'll select all these lines. But before that, I think it's better if you go for mirror option and then you can select the object here. Select this object, this and the objects which you want to mirror. I'll mirror only this portion and mirroring line is this. Click on OK. You can see we have created the other part of the geometry automatically by using the mirroring tool. Now let us go to the portion above this base. The first entity that we want to insert is this line. Press on the escape key. Let us give the dimension to this line. This total dimension is 30 and from the center it is 15. So from here to here we'll take this as 30. As this and this we have mirrored, so automatically this line and this line are becoming symmetric about this center axis. Now let us create a circle. You can see I'll create a circle something like this and let us constrain it. We'll take coincident this center point about this center line. Now let us give the dimensions. If you see the drawing here, from this center to the base, the dimension is 130. So from the center to the base, this dimension is given 130. Now again, the diameter of this has to be given. To constrain it, this is 100. So let us give this dimension as 100. 100. You can see the sketch is fully constrained. Now we'll take trimming and we'll trim the portions which are not required. Press on the escape key and you can see the outer boundary is ready. Only the left out portion is this inner circle, which is of 60 diameter. So we just need to take a circle and we will create a circle at this center. Let us give the dimension. This is 60. And you can see we have created a fully constrained geometry of example 10. In this lecture, we are going to create the example 11 drawing. This is the example 11 drawing. We are going to start with this lower portion and then we are going to create this upper portion. Here we are going to learn two new tools. First is the chamfer tool and second is the fillet tool. Let us start. Let us select the XY plane to create a sketch. And now we will create the rough sketch. Select line tool. Let us create the rough profile. We'll click here and I'll click here, this side and click here, here, a vertical line and finally we will click somewhere here. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now let us create a reference line. I'll click here, which is the origin, and let us create a vertical line. Now click on this, right click and let us convert this into a construction element so that it won't be a part of the active sketch. Now I'll take coincident this point on this line. Again this point on this line. Now let us give the dimensions. Here you can see this is 10 mm, this is 20 and from this face to this center line it is 100 divided by 2. So let us give that. First we will give this dimension which is 10 mm and then this dimension 20 mm from here to this line. This dimension is 100 divided by 2. So we can give 50 mm. You can see here these three lines are constrained. I'll just move this and let us give this dimension now. This entire dimension is 20 mm. Now if you see here, you can see this is R8. This is a fillet and this is a chamfer. This is also a chamfer. Before giving chamfer and fillets, let us give this distance. We'll take dimension from here to this center line. This value is 20 divided by 2. So this value is 10. Now let us create a fillet here. Click on this icon which is fillet and simply click this line and this line to create the fillet. You can give the fillet dimension which is R8. Here you can see it is R8. That means radius 8 and 4 places. Which are the 4 places that we have to identify? Similar looking radius are having the same dimension. This is a fillet. This is also fillet. This and this. So there are 4 fillets here and all are looking similar. So all are having the same dimension which is R8. Now let us see the chamfer tool after giving the dimension of R8 here. You can see it is completely constrained. Now let us see the chamfer tool. If you go to modify here and here we have chamfer, there are 3 different methods of chamfer. You can see a preview here. In the preview you can see this is equal distance chamfer. This is distance angle and this is 2 distance chamfer. So for our case, if you see here, this is 5 into 45 degrees. So if it is 45 degrees, then both the sides will be equal. But as the angle is given, so let us go for giving the angle. And you can see here it is two places. That means similar looking chamfers are having this same dimension. So the similar looking chamfer is exactly in the opposite, which is here. So here and here, in the two places, the chamfer value is 5 into 45 degrees. 5 mm into 45 degrees. Let us give that. We'll go to chamfer tool, distance and angle chamfer, because we have been given the distance and angle. So simply click here and here. You can see the chamfer has been formed. Now it's asking for the length. Here the length is 5 mm and the angle is 45 degrees. So here it is 5 mm and the value here is, you can see, 45 degrees. You can see here this is 5 mm and this is 45 degrees. So this is how we can generate a chamfer. Here also we have a chamfer. This is 10 into 30 degrees. Two places. The 30 degrees is along this horizontal. So let us see. We will take chamfer, distance and angle. We'll select this and this. You can see here. This is 30 degrees. We have made it 30 degrees. And the distance. Click here. You will get a distance here. This distance value is 10 mm. You can see this is 10 mm into 30 degrees and two places. So this side and this side, both the chamfers will be of equal dimension. So we have given this 10 mm and we have also given 30 degrees. Now we just need to click on enter and you can see it's a completely constrained geometry. Now let us use mirror and make the other side of this figure. So we will take mirror and now we will select the objects. We will select this object, this object, this. So whichever object you want to mirror, you can select it. Now there is the requirement of mirroring line. Click here and select this line as the mirroring line. Now click on OK and you can see the other side has been comfortably generated. We'll take line, maybe click here and we'll create a vertical line. Now press on the escape key. This endpoint is free. Now let us go for the upper portion, which is this portion. This portion consists of various things. First, let us create this boundary and then we'll create this inside circle. Here you can see this circle has been positioned at 35 plus 15. So 50 mm from this face. So let us create a circle first. We'll create a circle somewhere here. Press on the escape key. Coincide this point, which is the center point of the circle, with this construction line. And we'll give the dimension from this point to this face. This has been given as 50. And this dimension here you can see it's given as R30. So if it is radius 30, then we can give a value 60. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we can go for trimming. Trim this portion, this portion, this and this. So all the unnecessary portions we have trimmed. Now if you see the figure here, there is another circle here, which is at a distance of 40 mm from this center. Let us see. We'll make another circle somewhere here and we'll take coincide again this point on this construction line. And the dimension between this point and this point is given as, you can see here, from this point, which is the center point of this circle, to this point. center point of this circle? It's 40 mm. So let us give 40 mm here. This is 40 mm, enter, and the diameter of this circle. Here you can see the radius is 30. So the diameter will be 30 into 2, 60. Press on the escape key. Now we'll take trim this portion, this portion, this and this portion. Press on the escape key. Here there is a fillet. Here also there is a fillet of R4. Let us make the fillets here. We'll take fillet. Click here and click here. This is of radius 4. Again fillet, this and this, radius 4, enter. Once you give the fillet here, you can see this has turned into under constraint. If you move, you can see it is under constraint because this portion has been detached from this portion. So now Fusion 360 thinks this is a different arc and this is a different arc, but both of them are from the same circle. So what we are going to do is, I'll simply take equal and we will give equal radius to these two, and you can see it is constrained. Now let us move to this lower portion. Here this R8 is at 4 places, 1, 2, 3, 4. So already we have given this R8 to 2 places, which is here and here. Now we are going to give to these 2 places. So we'll take fillet, take this circle and this line. You can see this is 8 mm. Again we'll take fillet, this circle and this line, 8 mm, and you can see these are the fillets. The chamfers have been made, the fillets have been made. Now we are left out with only the single circle at this middle. So we'll take circle, click somewhere outside, press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we'll take coincidence between this center point and this construction element at the center axis. Now let us give the dimension. This circle is at 35 mm from this base. So let us position it. Circle center from this line. This is 35. You can see it's 35 and the diameter is 20. So this is the last dimension that we have to give. This diameter is 20. So you can see we have completed a fully constrained geometry of example 11. In this video we are going to create example 12, which is this. Here first we are going to create this upper portion. We are going to constrain it. Then we are going to create this lower portion. So let us start. First let us create a sketch on this plane, which is the XY plane. Now I'll take a circle and create a circle somewhere here, and another circle I'll create somewhere here. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now I'll take a line and create a line from here. I'll create a horizontal line this side. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. I'll simply select this, right click and convert to construction element. Let us give a dimension to this line. This line is of, you can see here, center to center distance is 80. So from here to here this will be 40, and what I will do is, we'll take coincidence between this circle center to this endpoint. You can see here. Now let us give the dimension to this circle. This is of diameter 40 because the dimension given here is radius 20. So here I'll give a value 40. You can see here. Now if you see the opposite side, this is also radius 20 and the inside one is radius 10. So let us give that. We'll take equal between this circle and this circle, and we'll take coincident between this and this line. Again we'll take dimension from this center point to this center point and give it as 80. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we'll take line and we'll select this circle and create a horizontal line, something like this. We'll select this line, or so to say, we'll take tangency between this line and this circle. So a tangency symbol is here, another tangency symbol is here. So what I have done is, during creation of this line, automatically I have created the constraint. If you see, first constraint I am creating is point on this circle. So when this tooltip comes, place first point on this circle. And if you move here, you can see I can create a horizontal line, or even I can create the tangent line. You can see a tangency constraint is getting formed. So I'll just create a horizontal line, maybe something like this, and we can also go for trimming. Now if you see, tangency between these two, and as it is horizontal, it is automatically getting constrained. Now the next thing that we have to do is this line, which is at offset 10 mm. So directly I can create offset this line, and I'll move this side. This is minus 10 mm. You can see the line has been formed. Now I'll take trim this portion, and this portion. After trimming, you can see the constraint has been removed and this is now free. So we can go for giving a dimension here now. This is 10 mm. Now I'll take a circle, select this center, draw a circle, center, draw a circle, and we'll make these two circles as equal radius. Now let us give the dimension of this inner circle. This is a value R10, so a diameter of 20, and you can see the upper portion we have created. Now let us think about the lower portion. Here the lower portion is starting at 10 mm from this center. This lower portion is starting at 10 mm offset from this axis. So let us start by first creating a rough sketch. I'll simply take line and create a rough sketch, something like this. You can see, press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we'll take dimension from this line to this point. This is 10 mm, and if you see here, this total is 80 mm and the width is 60. So this is 60, and from this base to this line, this is 80 mm. So the lower portion has been made. Now we are left out with these fillets. You can see 2 R10 fillets have been applied to these corners. So we'll take fillet directly, this line and this line. This R10, again fillet, this line and this line. R10, press on the enter key to acknowledge. Now we are going to learn a new tool. Here this portion we can create by creating 2 circles and create 2 tangent, and then we can trim, or we can use another tool which is called slot, center to center slot. Click on center to center slot. I'll click somewhere here and somewhere here. You can see directly we are achieving this required geometry. Here from this face it is 20, and then center to center is 15. Let us give the dimension. We'll take dimensioning from this point to this edge. This is 20, and again center to center means this line's length is 15. Now we are left out with this diameter or radius. The radius given here is 10 mm. You can see here the radius is 10 mm and from base this center line is 30 mm. So from this center line to base this value is 30 mm. And with this we have completed a fully constrained geometry. And with this we have completed example 12. Let us create example 13 drawing, which is this. Here in this drawing we will use the segmented approach. Segmented approach means you will generate a segment of the drawing and then you will move on to the next segment. So there will be less confusion for you to create the completely constrained geometry. First, let us create this upper section and then we will move on to this lower part. Let us first create a sketch plane. On this sketch plane we are going to create the sketch. Let us start by first creating a circle, and that circle I'll create by taking this origin as the center point. You can see a circle has been created. Now let us give the dimension to this. If you see the drawing, here we have created this circle. The dimension of the circle is R30 or diameter 60. So let us give a dimension of 60, enter. Now let us create this lower part. This width is 10 mm and it is symmetrical about this axis, and also this distance of this lower portion is about 50. Let us do that. We'll take this line tool and we will generate a profile something like this. You can see this is the profile. Now let us constrain it. We'll take dimension. This is of 10 mm and the dimension from this line to this point, this is of 5 mm because it is symmetrical. Also the dimension from this point to this line is 50 mm. Now let us trim the portions that is not required. Press on the escape key and you can see this portion we have created. Now let us go for this portion. Here you can see this is 10 mm width and 40 mm from this center. We'll take a line something like this and we will join it on the circle. Press on the escape key. Now we'll take tangency between this line and this circle. Now let us take trim. This extra portion we will trim. Let us take dimension. This width is 10 mm. Also the dimension from this line to this point, it has been given as 40, enter. Press on the escape key and you can see we are inserting a single object and constraining it. So that is the method that you should always adopt for creating a sketch, because it will be the easiest method that you can use for creating a constrained sketch. Now in this upper segment we are only left out with this center circle and the diameter of this is, you can see here, R15, so radius 15. We can give a diameter of 15 into 2, 30. Now let us move on to the lower section, which is this portion. First let us create this upper circle and then this inner circle, and then we will move on to create this lower part. Let us check. First let us create a circle which is the bigger circle and let us give the dimensions. Let us position the circle first. This center point, from this center point, this is of dimension 80. You can see here this is center to center 80 and along this x direction or the horizontal it is 80. So we have given along vertical. Now along horizontal also we will give a value of 80. Now let us give its diameter. The diameter is of value 50. It is radius 50. So the diameter would be 100. You can see here. Now let us take circle again and we will insert a circle inside. Let us constrain it by giving the diameter. This diameter is 60. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now let us take line and we will catch hold of a point on the inner circle and we'll just move down. We'll create a vertical line. Similarly, again we'll take line and we'll catch hold of a point on the circle, move down vertically. You can see here. Now we'll take tangent, constraint between this circle and this line, again this circle and this line. Now simply I have to take trim this portion, this and this portion. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. And you can see we have the fully constrained geometry of this lower segment. Now let us move on to the drawing. You can see this portion we have made and this portion also we have made, and both are fully constrained. So we are only left out with these two tangents. So let us proceed for making the tangent. Here in this lower side, the tangent starts from this corner and it comes to this outer circle. And upper side, a tangent is drawn from this outer circle to this outer circle. So let us do it. We'll take a line, we'll connect this endpoint, and you can see we can create a auto constraint, or we can click here, press on the escape key to exit from the command. Again I'll take line and I'll create a line something like this. Now we'll take tangency between this line and this circle. Again line and circle. This line and this circle. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now trim. This portion will trim. This portion will trim. And let us zoom. And this portion also we will trim. And with this we have completed a fully constrained geometry. In this lecture, let us generate the example 15 drawing, which is this. We are going to first start this inside stuff and then we are going to create this outside areas. Let us start. First let us create a sketch. We'll click on sketch and we will select this plane, which is the XY plane. Now let us create a circle. We'll take circle command and we'll select this origin as the circle center and create a circle something like this. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, which is circle. Now let us give the dimension of this. If you see the drawing here, this outside circle we will make first, which is of 100 diameter, and then we will make the inside circle which is of 50 diameter. So this diameter is 100, and let us create another circle. We'll take the same origin and we will take this diameter as 50. Now you can see we have two fully constrained circles. Now let us take a line and we'll create a line from this circle to this circle. And we'll give a dimension to this from this line to this origin point. We have a value here. You can see this is 10 mm and from the center it is 5. So we will give this dimension as 5 mm. Press on the enter key. Now press on the escape key to exit from the command. And now we can go for mirror and we'll select this object which is a line, and we'll select the mirroring line which is not there here. So press on the escape key. We can also go for the offset tool. Click on offset, select this line and we'll give an offset value of 10. Click on OK and you can see we have created another line at a distance of 10. Now we will use a new tool called the circular pattern. We'll go to create and circular pattern. Click on this. Here we'll select the objects that we want to use as a circular pattern, the center point which is this, and you can see something is happening. Here in angular spacing we'll give full angle and we'll give a value here. If you click, the number of instances increases, and here you can see there are 6 instances totally getting formed. When you click on OK, and you can see at one shot we have created this geometry. Next we will go for this outer boundary. Then we will insert this circles. We'll take a circle and create a circle somewhere here. If you see this drawing, from this center is 80 and 45. So we will position this circle first. We'll take the dimension. This center to this center has a linear value of 80 and 45. 80 along y and 45 along x. So this center to this center, we have a dimension of 45. Press on the enter key. Now we'll give the diameter of this. If you see here, the diameter of this is 60 because the radius is 30. So let us give a dimension of 60. 60, enter. You can see the circle is fully constrained. Now press on the escape key. We'll take this circle and mirror it about this vertical line. But we don't have the vertical line, so it's fine. Now let us create a symmetry line. We'll take line tool and create a simple vertical line. Press on the escape key and immediately I'll select this, right click and convert to a construction element. You can see it's a construction element. Now we'll take mirror, but instead of mirror we'll use another tool. I'll take a circle here and we'll go to constraints, symmetry. Click on symmetry, select this circle and this circle about this line. So this circle will be symmetric to this circle. Symmetricity will occur by taking all the dimensions of this reference circle, which is this. So this diameter has been transferred, the position has been mirrored about this symmetry line. Now let us go for the other stuff. First we will select a circle here and press on the escape key to exit from the command. We'll take tangency between this circle and this circle, again this circle and this circle. Let us give the dimension. Here it is radius 30, so we'll give a value of 60, that is 30 into 2. Now press on the escape key and we will use trim this extra portion. Press on the escape key again to exit from the command. Now we'll take circle, create a circle here and another circle here. Press on the escape key. Now we'll take tangency between this circle, this and this, again this circle, this circle and this circle. Now we'll take the dimension. This is R20. So the diameter is 40. Now equality between this circle and this circle's radius. Now we will go for trimming. Trim this extra portion, this and this extra portion. Press on the escape key to exit from the command and you can see we have a completely constrained boundary. Now we just have to insert these two circles, this circle and this circle. We'll give the dimension. This is diameter 20. So double click here and we'll feed a value of 20. Now we'll take equal radius between these two. So the dimension has been given. Now this entire upper part we just have to mirror about this center line to the lower part. So let us create a center line first. We'll click on this origin and create a simple horizontal line. Select this line, right click and convert to construction element. Now select this mirror and objects to mirror, this object. So the objects which you want to mirror, you can just select all the objects. Now mirroring line is this and click on OK. And you can see that the entire figure is fully constrained. We can click on this show dimensions and show constraints so that the figure will be cleaner and we can have a clear view. So this is the geometry that we wanted to make in this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to create a fully constrained geometry of example 16. You can see here, this is the drawing for which we are going to create a fully constrained geometry. Let us start by first creating this outline, and then we will move on to this inside objects. So for making this outline, first let us create a circle here and another circle here, and after that we will see how we are going to progress. First, you can see here a circle is being made at radius 20, and using the same center another circle at radius 100. Let us make both the circles. So first we will select a sketch plane. Let us select this. We'll take circle and let us take this origin as the center. Let us make another circle, a bigger one. Now the smaller circle's diameter is R20, so 40 diameter, and this bigger circle's diameter is 200 because the radius has been given as 100. You can see both the circles are fully constrained. Now we will create this line and then this line. This line is tangential to this circle and it starts from this line's end, and this line actually has been made at 20 mm length from this arc which has been cut at 80 mm. Let us create that, then you will have a clear idea. We'll simply create a line. We'll take a point on this circle and create a line something like this. Let us give a dimension to it of value 10, and let us give a distance from the center to this line. This value has been given as 80. So we'll give a value here 80, enter. Now let us take line and we'll click here and take a tangency on this circle. You can see at certain point a tangency symbol has been generated. Also it is on the circle. So if I click at this point now, automatically the tangency and point on curve constraint is going to be applied. Let us see. I'll click and you can see both the constraints have been given and this line is completely constrained. If you see here, this value is 20. So what happens is this looks very small. Just double click and change the value. It doesn't matter. Press on the escape key. The software is completely parametric, so you can change any parameter at any point of time. Now we just have to mirror these two on the other side. For that we require a line which we will use it as a center line. So we'll create a vertical line starting from this center. Immediately after creating the line, we'll right click and convert it into a construction element. Now we'll take mirror and we'll select the objects to mirror, which are these two, and mirroring line as this. Click on OK. You can see. Now we just have to trim the unnecessary portions. Trim this portion which is not required and this portion. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and you can see we have a completely constrained boundary of our required sketch. Now we just have to position the inside circles. For positioning the inside circles, let us begin with this set of circles. Here this is dia 8 and you have to see how it is positioned. This circle has been positioned at R55 PCD at a radius of 55 from this center point. So this is actually the pitch circle on which the points have been located, and this is the pitch circle radius. Let us create the pitch circle first. So instead of creating this pitch circle, and also if you see here, this included angle is 90 degrees. So 45 degrees from each side. So let us create a line first. I'll take this center point and we'll create a line something like this. Press on the escape key. We'll give an angle to it. We'll take dimension between this line and this line, and this angle will give us 45 degrees. Now we'll take dimension of this line. We'll give this align dimension a value of 55. So we are generating a line from this center point to this center point of value radius 55. So the distance between these 2 points is 55. You can see the reference line has been generated. So immediately I'll select this, right click and convert to construction element. We'll take circle and create a circle here of diameter 8. Now we'll use the pattern, create circular pattern. Objects, we'll select this object and center point is this. Here we will take an angle and the angle we will give as 90 degrees. But before that, you have to select how many instances you want. That is, how many objects you want to create. So we have 6 objects. If you see the drawing, we have 6 objects here. So let us increase this value 4, 5 and 6. And again we'll click here angle. This is the angle. This is the total angle. And this total angle we want to give as minus 90 degrees. You can see the preview. This is exactly what we want. Click on OK. And you can see this we have already formed now. Now let us go for creating these upper circles. The first circle that we want to make is this circle, which is at 30 degrees. That means 15 degree from this center line. So for this, again we will take a line and create a line something like this. Press on the escape key. We will take dimension between this construction line and this line, a value of 15. And the align dimension, which will define the radius. You can see here that this radius is 80 mm. So we'll take this value as 80. Enter. Now immediately we'll select this line and convert this line to construction element. We'll take circle, we'll take the endpoint of this line and create this circle of diameter. Here you can see this diameter is 16. So double click here and we will give a dimension 16. Immediately we'll take mirror, select this curve as the object we want to mirror and select here mirroring line as this line. Click on OK. Let us generate the circle at this center. We'll simply create a rough circle, something like this, and coincident, this point coincidence at this line. The diameter of this circle is, you can see it is 12 and it is positioned at 80 radius. So we'll give a value here 12, which is the diameter, and we'll take the point to point distance as 80. You can see this circle is also fully constrained. Now let us go to this circles. You can see here, this circle has been aligned at 90 degrees with respect to this circle. So from the center, it is 45 and 45 each side. So we have to take a line again and we'll join this center to this center, and you can take parallel between this line and this line. So automatically the angle is going to be 45 degrees. We'll take this line, right click and create a construction line. Let us give the dimension from this center to this center, or I can also give the dimension of this line, which is 80. Here you can see this circle lies on the same arc of radius 80 and the diameter of this is 20 mm. So this diameter is 20. Enter. Now we'll take mirror, select object, which is this object which we want to mirror. Then the mirroring line is this center line. Click on OK. Let us switch off show dimensions and show constraints. You can see now we are left out with this middle elongated slot, which is this. Let us make it. We'll go to create slot, center to center slot. Click on this center to center slot and let us click here and here to create the center line, and this is the slot that we want. If you see the dimensions, this is 20 mm. So let us give that first. The center to center distance is 20, and if you go for the radius, this is 10 mm. So let us give this dimension. This is 10 mm. The position from this center is 20 mm. From this center, the position is 20 mm. Now this is symmetric above this center axis. So we can go for giving the symmetricity between these two arcs. So we will take constraints and symmetry. We'll select this arc and this center line. You can see we have got a completely constrained geometry. We'll switch on this show dimensions and show constraints. You can see it's a completely constrained geometry. In this lecture, we are going to start the example 17 drawing. This drawing, as you can see, contains many things, and this is a specially designed drawing for you to learn all the tools, that is the important tools which are available inside Fusion 360. This contains a lot of things which require many tools which has to be used. So it's a good learning exposure for you. First we have to analyze the drawing, and you have to find out where you have to start. There are a lot of things here. If you see this upper portion, you can see this upper portion and there is a lower portion. So we have to decide first we will go for this lower portion or upper portion. That is the first decision. And you also have to find out where your entire figure is centered. That is, from which point your dimensions are given. If you see here in this upper portion, this is the center, because from here all the relations have been given, 150, 100, 150. So all these relations have been given from this center. If I want to be particular, then this cross section, this intersection of both the axes, this is the point where the entire structure is getting mounted. So we have to definitely start with these two, and then we have to move to these two. After that, this lower portion has been referenced with this line at 175. You can see 175, 130, 20. So we have to start with this upper portion first. And in this upper portion, first we will create the boundary, then we will go for the inner stuff. Let us start. First we will create the rough sketch of this boundary, and then we will move on to the inner objects. As usual, we will go for create sketch and we will select this XY plane. Now we will create a rough sketch for the upper portion. Now if you want to create this upper portion rough sketch, you cannot just go and draw everything and then go for constraining. It will be quite difficult. So you have to create individual things and then constrain it. Then you have to merge them together by using these tangents and arcs and whatever. So first what I am going to do is, we are going to create this circle. The entire circle will create this circle, and this circle. We are going to create 4 circles which are fully constrained. Then it will be very easy for us to develop the other things. Let us start by creating a circle here. Also, you have to take a decision where you want to place your origin. It is a very important decision. Here, if we keep our origin here at this point, then it will be better, because all the dimensions have been taken from this point. Here you can see this is 100, 150, 50, 50. So let us start by taking this as origin, and you will see the benefit. So if we have decided this as the origin, first let us create 2 lines, so that it will define the axis. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, so that we can give the dimensions and also we can take it as a reference. We'll select this, right click and convert to construction element. We'll take this, right click, convert to construction element, so that they are not part of the active sketch. Now we will take a circle and create a circle somewhere here. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now if you see the drawing here, this circle we have generated now is at distance of 150 and it lies on the x-axis, because we are taking this as the origin. So let us do that. First we will take coincident. This point coincide on this line. We'll take dimension between this point and this axis. This is 150. Press the enter key. Now we are only left out with the diameter. Here the diameter is given as 160. So we will give the dimension as 160 enter. Now let us take another circle and we will create a circle this side. So we are creating this circle now of radius 30, and this circle center is also in the x-axis and at a distance of 100 from the y-axis. So let us take this point on this axis. The dimension between this line and the point is 100. Now the diameter is given as 60 because the radius is 30. Next we will go for the other two circles. We'll create a circle here and we will create another circle here. And these two circles are also lying on this axis. This point on this axis. The distances from this point to this axis has been given as 50. If you see the drawing here, you can see this center is at 50 distance from the x-axis and this center is also at 50 distance from the x-axis. So let us give that. Also their centers lie on the y-axis. This center is also at 50 mm from the x-axis. Now let us give the diameters. This diameter is given as, you can see here, this is 50. So double click here and we'll give 50. This dimension is given as 80. You can see here, this is diameter 80. Now our four circles we have formed which are fully constrained. Now let us connect them with tangents and create the outer boundary. These are all linear tangents. So we will just create lines and make them tangent. We'll take line from this point. You can see a tangent is being drawn. You can click here to create the tangent. Otherwise you can click somewhere else, or you can also click on this circle. Press on the escape key. Now we will take tangency between this line and this circle. Again line and circle. Again we'll take line from this circle to this circle. You can see tangency constraint has been created automatically. Now we'll take tangent between this line and this circle. And you can see both the tangents are fully constrained. Now let us create a circle here. We'll take tangency between this circle and this circle. Again this circle and this circle. Here the radius is 40. Let us give that. This radius is 40, so diameter is 80. Immediately I'll go for trimming. Trim this upper portion. Now we'll take another circle. You might be thinking, if there is a fillet option, then why I am taking these circles? Because it is very less confusing and there won't be much problem in creating a circle and constraining it. It is quite easier. This circle and this circle, we can go for tangency, this and this circle. Tangency we have given. Now just we have to give the diameter. Here this radius is 30. So we can give a value of 60 here. Now we'll take trim this portion. And of course this portion is now also not required. And this portion is not required. So all the unnecessary portions we have trimmed. You can see all the curves are black. That indicates the sketch is fully constrained. Now let us start drawing the inner things. First let us hide this so that you can see the figure. So constraints also we will deselect. Now I'll create a circle somewhere here. And if you see the drawing here, I'm creating this circle and positioning it on this x-axis. And we will create it at a distance of, you can see the pitch circle diameter is given as 100. So at a distance of 50 mm, I'm going to position the circle. And the circle's diameter is 20. Let us take the dimension between this point and this point. And this diameter, which is the PCD, is given as 100. So this radius will be 50. We'll take coincidence between this point and this axis. Now we will take dimension of this circle as diameter 20 as given in the drawing. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now if you see here, this circle we have to create a circular pattern of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Total 8 number items we have to create. Now as we have created this single circle, we have to create the other circles by using the circular pattern. So we will go to create circular pattern, click on the option, we'll select this object, the center point is this point, and we have to give the number of objects that we have to create. So there are total 8 objects here, so we are going for 8. You can see we have formed 8 objects immediately by using the circular pattern. And here angular spacing also we have to go for full. Click on OK. We have created the circular pattern. Now let us focus on this small circle. We'll create a circle here because if you see here, this small circle at a PCD of 30 mm. So let us create it. We'll take circle and position a circle here. We'll take line and connect this point with the center point of this circle. We'll select this line and make it horizontal. Now again, press on the escape key to exit from the command. Select this line, right click and convert to construction element. Now we have to give the dimension of this line as, if you see here, the PCD is 30 mm. So we will create this circle at 15 mm distance. Now we'll give the dimension of this circle. The diameter is 10 mm. Here you can see this diameter is 10 mm and there are 5 circles. So press on the escape key to exit from the dimensioning command and we'll take create circular pattern, select this circle and center point we will select this as the center point. Quantity we will give as 5 and angular spacing let it be full. Click on OK. You can see. Now let us focus on the other circle, which is this. Here this circle consists of a center small circle and this elongated holes which are in the form of an arc. So first let us create this elongated hole. There is an option here. We'll go to create and go to slot. You can see there is an option here to create 3-point arc slot and center point arc slot. Let us go for center point arc slot. Click on this. We'll select this as the center point and we'll select this point and this point and create a arc something like this. This is a slot which is in the form of an arc. Now let us constrain this. For constraining, there are some dimensions given here that we have to give in the drawing. Now let us constrain this profile. If you see in this drawing, this radius is 5 mm and there are various radius given here. You can see here this center arc radius is 30. So let us give that, and this radius has been given as 5 mm. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now if we see the drawing, here you can see this is 50 degrees. That is the included angle between these two centers and it is symmetric. So we will take dimension, we'll take line, connect this center point with this center point, again connect this center point with this center point. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we'll take dimension between this line and this center line. So this dimension will give us 25 degrees and from here to here this included angle will give as 50 degrees. And you can see we have fully constrained this geometry. Now let us press on the escape key to exit from the command. We'll take this line, right click and convert to construction element. This line, right click, convert to construction element. Let us see the dimensions. Now this similar profile is there on the lower side. So we will go for mirror. I'll take a line and create a line here so that we can use this line for mirror. These dimensions are actually obstructing our view. So let us hide this and we can show it as and when required. We'll select this line, right click and immediately we'll convert it into construction element. Now we'll select mirror and objects. We'll select this object, this and this object. Mirroring line is this line. Press on the OK. You can see we have created our required profiles. Now we'll take circle. We'll select this center point and create a circle. Let us give a diameter to it, which is given in the drawing as 30 diameter. Double click here and we'll give this diameter as 30. So we have created this internal objects of this small circle. Now only we are left out with this circle. Now let us take circle and we'll take this center point and create a full circle. We'll give this a diameter of, let us check it out, it is 40 diameter. 40, enter. With this we have completed the upper portion. In the next lecture we are going to see the lower portion because it's going to be a very big video. So I just wanted to break it down to two parts. In the part 1 we have seen this upper portion and in the part 2 we are going to make this entire lower portion. So we will see that in the part 2, that is next lecture. This is the continuation of the last lecture. In the last lecture we had done example 17 and we had created this upper portion. In this video we are going for this lower portion. For this lower portion also, first we are going to create this outer boundary and then we are going to create this inner stuff. Let us start by first creating this circle and constraining it, and then we will go for creating this circle and constrain it. This we had created in the last lecture. Now we'll create a circle here, and if you see the dimensions from this x-axis that we have created in the earlier lecture, the dimension of this center is 175. Let us create it step by step. So from this axis to this point, this value is 175. Let us give that 175, enter. Now if you see here, this axis from this center axis is 100. So from this axis to this point, we will give this value as 100. The circle is positioned. Now we have to give the diameter. The diameter has been given as, here you can see the radius is 100. So the diameter is 200. The circle is fully constrained. Here these dimensions are not visible because we have made this show dimensions as off. If you click it on, you can see the dimensions. Now let us create the other circle somewhere here. Let us position it. Let us first study the drawing. Here the center of this circle is at 150 mm from this center. Let us give these dimensions first. This center point from this axis, this is 150, and if you see here, this circle, or so to say arc, center is at this point, and this point has been located at 130 plus 20. So 150 mm from this center axis or the x-axis. Let us give the dimension. I can take this axis to this point. This value is 150. Now let us give the diameter. This diameter is given as radius 120. So diameter 120 into 2, which is 240. So both these circles are fully constrained. Now if you see here, there is a linear tangent this side and a arc, or so to say a fillet here and another fillet here. Let us generate that. We can create a circle here, and a line from this circle to this circle. Now we'll take tangency between this circle and this line, this circle and this line, this circle, again this circle and this circle. And we'll also give tangency to these two circles and this line and this circle. The constraints are not visible because this is switched off. When you switch on, you can see all the tangency has been applied. Now let us give the dimensions. The dimension of this circle is radius 50. So this diameter is 100. Again, we'll give diameter to this circle, radius 20. So diameter 40. 40, enter. Let us trim the unnecessary portions. Let us select trim and we'll trim this portion and this portion. Now if you see the drawing here, this portion has to be trimmed and this entire portion has to be trimmed. So let us start by trimming this portion. Then I'll trim this portion. Let us zoom in a bit. This portion, you can see all the portions that are not required are being trimmed. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and you can see the entire profile is black in color, which indicates it is fully constrained. Now let us go for the internal objects. The first object that we will be creating is this. Let us zoom in. You can see this object. There is a circle here of 80 diameter and there is this rectangular slot. So let us first create this rectangular slot and then we will go for creating the circular array. Before that, let us create this circle also of 80 diameter. So I'll take circle. We'll take this as the center point and this diameter is 80. 80, enter. Now let us create a line here. Now let us create a rough sketch. We'll select here, create a horizontal line, a vertical line and another horizontal line. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now let us constrain this geometry. We'll take dimensions from this line to this point. We have a value here which is given in the drawing 10 and the total is 20. So we'll give this dimension as 10 and the total dimension will give as from this line to this line 20. Now if you see here, from this center to this line the value is 70. From this line to this center point value is 70. So you can see the sketch is fully constrained. Now we will go for circular pattern. Here you can see there are total 8 objects around this circle. So we will create that. We'll take create circular pattern and here we have to select the object. Let us select this object, this and this object. The center point, of course it is this circle center point and the angular spacing is this full, and here we can give the quantity as 8. You can see. Now click on OK to form it. The entire thing is fully constrained. Now let us go for trimming the unnecessary portions. We'll trim this portion, this portion, this portion, this, and this. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and you can see we have a fully constrained geometry. So this portion we have completed. Now let us go to this portion. You can see here, first we will create this circle and constrain it. Then we'll create this elongated hole. We'll constrain that, and then we will connect. That is the procedure that we will be adopting. We'll create a circle somewhere here, and let us create a line from this center to this center. Press on the escape key. Immediately I'll convert this line into construction element, and we'll make this line vertical. Now there is a dimension which is given to this line. If you see here, this is 20 mm. So we'll give this as 20. The diameter of this circle is 40. 40, enter. Now let us create this elongated hole. We'll go to create slot, center point arc slot. The center point of this arc slot is this center point, and from this point to this point I'll create a elongated hole. Now let us give the dimensions to this profile. Here this radius is 20 and this center arc is radius 80. So we'll give that the center arc is radius 80 and this is of radius 20. Now we just have to position this. Now we'll take line and we'll take this center point to this center point and create a line. Again, center point to this center point, create a line. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and if you see the drawing here, this entire thing is 120 degrees. So 60 degree this side and 60 degree on the other side, because both of them are symmetric. So we'll take dimension between this line and this line. The angle is 60 degrees, and this total included angle from this line to this line is 120. And you can see everything is fully constrained. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we'll take this line, right click and convert this into construction line. Again this line, right click, construction line. Now let us create a line here. Press on the escape key to disconnect, and another line here. You can also click on these curves to create the line on the curve, or you can create outside and trim it later. Your wish. Now we'll take dimension between this line and this point. This is given as, you can see this total is 20 and it is symmetric. So from the center it is 10 mm. Here we'll go for 10, enter. And this total dimension from here to here, this is 20. Now we'll take trim this portion and trim this portion which is not required. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and here we will take fillet, select this line and this arc. We'll create a fillet of 10 on both the sides. So we'll take this dimension as 10, enter. Again we'll take fillet, we'll take this two line, and here also we'll take a value 10, enter. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and if you see here, the dimensions have disappeared. Now if you see here, these two lines are in blue and others are black. That indicates these two lines have some missing constraints. It has been created due to this trimming, so you have to be very careful while trimming. Now, let us select this and drag. You can see some constraints have disappeared. So if you drag, you can see this and this both are not tangent. So we'll take tangency between this circle and this arc. Now you can see it is fully constrained. So whenever you trim, there will be some missing constraints. So whenever you trim, if some missing constraints occur, you just have to move the geometry and see which constraints are actually missing, and you just have to give the constraints. Most of the time it is geometrical constraints, but some of the time it may be the dimensional constraints also. So this figure is completely constrained. Now we are left out with only one portion, which is this portion. You can see here, we will first make this object and then we will use rectangular pattern. Let us first create this single object. So for that, we will create a circle first, we'll constrain it, then we will create this lower portion. Let us create a circle somewhere here, and let us now see the dimensions. This radius is 8, so the diameter will be 16. 16, enter. And if you see here, from this axis, or so to say this center point, the distance of this center point is 50. So from this center point to this center point, this dimension we will give as 50. Again, from this center point to this center point, this vertical dimension is also given, which is 12. Now, this dimension will give us 12. Next, we'll create a rough sketch of this lower portion. You can see this is a rough sketch. Now let us constrain this. We'll take dimension. This total dimension has been given as 10 mm, and from this center this height is 10 mm. This is 10 mm, and of course it is symmetric. So we'll take this line and this point and we'll give this dimension as 5 to make it symmetric. From this line to the center, this is also 10 mm. Press on the escape key. We'll take trim and trim this unnecessary portion. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now, you can see this is fully constrained. The same thing we will create on this lower side. This is at a distance of 15 plus 12 mm towards the same object has been created at 15 plus 12, 27 mm distance. So, we'll go to modify, move or copy. We'll move this object. You can see this object we want to move or copy, and we'll select translate here, and we have to translate in this direction. Here we'll select create copy, and in this direction you can move. You can see the value is minus. So here we have been given 12 plus 15, 27 dimension. So I will select here minus 27. Press on the enter key, and you can see the object has been created. But if you see here, it is not fully constrained because it is not in black. So why it is not constrained? That we have to check out. If you hold and move, you can see the position of this center has not been given. So we can give the position by defining its center point's dimension. But I wanted to show you how the copy works, so I have shown it to you. I just wanted to show how the copy works. There are simpler ways to do this. I'll select this and delete, so that we will do it in a different way. I'll select this and delete. Now I'll use a tool called rectangular pattern. We'll go to create and rectangular pattern. Click this. First we have to select the object. We'll select this object, this object, this and this object. So all the objects have been selected. Now the direction we'll select as this direction, and the distance type will select spacing, because in drawing it has been given as 24 mm. This center to this center is 24. So we'll give the spacing. Here we'll specify the distance as 24. You can see 3 are getting formed. Quantity, if you see here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So total 6 objects are there. So here in quantity we will select this as 6. You can see 6 objects have been formed. Now on the other side there are 2 objects. So we'll select 2 here, and the distance is given here as, from this center to this center, the distance is 15 plus 12. So 27. We'll take this value as 27 to 7. You can see here it is forming towards up. So we can give a value of minus here, so that it will form down. Now click on OK. And you can see it is fully constrained. So with this we have completed our example 17 drawing. Let us hide the constraints and hide the dimensions. And you can see here, this is the drawing that we wanted to create. So as you can see, there are a lot of options you can practice with this drawing. But you have to remember, you should follow a technique: insert a object, create a object and constrain it. Then go for the next object. This is the method you should follow for creating any type of sketch. It will be quite simpler to make and there will be 0 errors. From the next lecture, from this video, we are going to start the solid modeling process. We are going to create this example 18 model. This is the model that we are going to create, and during creating this model, we are going to learn many new options which are used for generating solids. If you remember, and of course you will remember, because in each and every lectures I had told you to select a single plane, but in fact there are 3 planes because it is a 3D and we require 3 planes to create a 3D model. If you see here, this is the gizmo for rotating and generating the views of our object. Let us leave it for now, but what I wanted to show you is there are various other planes which we can select. If we click this create sketch, then basically we'll get these 3 highlighted planes. But in fact, these are the 3 planes which define a 3-dimensional space. The planes are XY plane, YZ plane and ZX plane. Now always we used to select this plane. Let us select this plane. And let us start our model. Later on we will see how to select the other planes. For creating our model, first we will create a rectangle. We'll select this rectangle and create a rectangle something like this. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. And now we have to constrain this rectangle. If you see this drawing, here this length is 75 and this length is 25. So the total length is 100 and here it is 60. So we require the rectangle to be 100 into 60. Let us give this 100 on this line. 100, enter. And for this line we will give as 60. Press on the enter key. What I will do is, for constraining, we will go for coinciding this corner with the origin. You can see how beautifully it has been constrained. Now let us use finish sketch. You can see. Now we can use some tools to view our drawing, or so to say model. The first tool is pan. You can see. You press the scroll button and move. This is pan, which we also used in the 2D sketch. And zoom. This also we used in the 2D sketch. And now we will use another tool, which is rotate. Press the shift button and mouse middle button, which is the scroll, and just move the mouse. You can see we are able to rotate. At the same time, when we rotate, you can see this gizmo that is also rotating. So you can also hold here and move. It will rotate. Okay, now we will learn the first tool for solid modeling, which is called, you can see here, extrude. Extrude will add material to a sketch, but remember that the sketch should be completely closed. Like we have this rectangle. This rectangle is completely closed. If two lines are open, then there won't be any solid formed. Let us click on extrude, and already the sketch had been selected, but if you want, I can show you again. I'll press extrude and you can select the sketch. Here already only one profile is there, so it is getting selected. If it is not selected by chance, as you can see, it is not selected now. So I'll just click on this sketch and you can see it is selected and something is happening. Use the shift and mouse middle button to rotate. If you click this arrow, hold this arrow on the left mouse button and move, you can see a solid is getting formed. And how much we want to give as the thickness, we have to see the drawing. Here the thickness is 15 mm. So we will give a distance of 15 mm, 15. Press on the OK button. You can see a solid body has been generated, which is this body, this lower portion. Now we'll use some tools to create these cutouts, this cutout and this extra materials. So first we will use two rectangles. We will create on this face, and two rectangles we will use extrude tool, which we have learnt now, and we will create a solid of 25 height. Let us do that first. Then we will see how the cutouts are made. I'll click on create sketch and I will select the plane on this top face of the body. You can see. Now I'll take rectangle and I'll directly click on this vertex or the origin and create a rectangle here. Again I'll click on this vertex, create another rectangle. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now we will give the dimensions of these two rectangles. The first dimension that we want to give is 25 and 15, and then we will go for this 25 height. So 25 into 15. Here also it is not given, so this dimension implies this also has the same dimension. So we will create two rectangles of the same dimension. We'll go for dimensioning and we'll give this dimension as 25 and this dimension as 15. You can see here 25, 15. Here also we will select this line and we will give this as 25 and this value as 15. both of our rectangles are completely constrained. Now we will use finish sketch. You can see on this top face we have created two rectangles. Now we will use extrude. Click on extrude and select this rectangle. Also I'll select this rectangle. And we will give a dimension of, in the drawing, the material is getting added up to 25. You can see it is getting added. Here we have an operation tool. What it says is, do you want to join it with the lower body, or you want to cut it from the lower body, or you want to intersect it from the lower body? First let us see this join. What join will do is, it will add these two bodies with this base body. When I click on OK, you can see it has been added and the solid has formed. Now let us go for the other rectangles. Here, this is also having the same dimension, which is 25 into 15, but it is a cutout. Here also the same dimension, but it is a cutout. Let us generate these two rectangles and we will see how the cutout is made. Click on create sketch and we will use this top face of the solid body and we will go for rectangle tool. Create a rectangle here. We will select this corner vertex and create a rectangle here. By selecting the corner vertex, the reference of the solid is getting transferred to the sketch. So it is constraining. You can see this is black and this is black. Also this point is black. So which indicates these two lines are getting constrained, because this point is getting constrained as it has taken the reference of the solid body. Now we will take dimension and we'll give dimension to this as 15 and dimension to this as 25. We can go for equality between this line and this line, again this line and this line. Click on finish sketch because both of our sketches are fully constrained. Now we will see the second tool, which is the subtracting tool. We will use the same extrude option, which is used for creating solid bodies, and select this to sketch. Now here, instead of giving dimension, I'll give something else. But before that, click on operation here and use cut. And let us give a distance. Maybe I'll give some 10 mm. There is an error because on the top side there is no material to cut. So we have selected cut. That means we have to indicate the side of the material for cutting. Now here, instead of distance, we will go for all. So what it will do is, it will cut everything whichever comes in front of it. Here you can see the direction is above. So we don't have any material above. It is not cutting anything. So here there is an option called flip. Click on flip. You can see something is happening, which is called a cut. The material is getting cut by this solid that is getting generated. Now click on OK and you can see this is our required body. If you see the drawing, here you can see these are the two cutouts that we required. Now we are only left out with this central rectangle. Let us generate the rectangle. Again we'll go for create sketch and we'll use this same plane, which is the top plane of the solid body. And we will use the rectangle tool to create a rectangle here. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. Now if you see here, from this side it is 20. So we'll give dimension. From this side, this value is 20 and this is also 20 and this is 30. Let us give that. This is 20 and this value is 30. Now we are left out with only one dimension, which is this 35. We'll click this line and this line and we'll give a value 35. The sketch is fully constrained. Click on Finish Sketch, and as we have done earlier, we will use Extrude. Select this sketch. Here in Extend Type, we will go for All, and in Operation, it is auto selected, but we can go for Cut. And if you rotate and see, the direction is up, so we will flip this direction. You can see, and we will go for OK. With this, we have formed the solid body that actually has been given in the drawing. You can click on this Home button to create isometric view. This is the model that we required.